What I have for you guys today is the Vanpowers UrbanGlide Class 2 commuter e-bike. I had expectations for this bike because it looks so cool, but it's really blown my expectations away. So tune into this video and I'll take it for a ride. I'm gonna tell you all the important details that you need to know. And there's one thing that is so compelling about this bike that you really have to hear. Vanpowers UrbanGlide. I have the Ultra model right here. This is in large size and it is a step-through commuter e-bike, mid-power motor, mid-drive motor, has all the bells and whistles, and this is really so cool. And I'm gonna get into that with you and do a lot of test riding. Got my drone and did some off-roading, if you can believe that. But really, there's one thing about this bike that is so mind-blowing that it's really put it at the top of my list. And what is it? So this bike is the Ultra, $2,500 with a mid-drive motor, which is reasonable, okay? But what's really compelling about this bike is it comes in 3 models, 3 completely different models that all look the same, have the same characteristic. And so there's the standard, $1,300, and then there's the Pro for $1,900, and then this one for $2,500. So they're very premium bikes, but if you don't want to spend $1,900 or $2,500, $1,300, that's pretty much bottom bargain basement for a quality commuter e-bike. The most important detail is on this one, the 2,500 is the mid-drive motor. Mid-drive motor is a lot more balanced, a lot smoother, and because it goes through the drivetrain, the gears are able to help the motor. The other models, the other 2 models, they have a hub motor, so you don't have the advantage of the gears. So you can't climb super steep hills. So it has a torque sensor, so very natural feeling. It has this suspension seat post with 30 millimeters of travel, an adjustable stem, 9-speed micro shift transmission, super slick. So if you want to learn about the other 2 models, the differentiation, compare and contrast, hang on to the end of the video. I'll go through the whole spec sheet and point out the key differences between them. Talking about this bike, $2,500 for a mid-drive bike, and it is a step-through. Like I said, this one is the large size, comes in large and small. They run large, they run big. This thing it's called the top tube length, is 26 inches. So I'm only 5'7", but I was able to ride it. This saddle is pushed all the way forward, and I had my 6'3", 6'4" friend ride it, and he said even with the saddle forward, it goes, oh, it fits. So it's a class 2 e-bike, so 20 miles per hour max. This one does not have the throttle on the mid-drive version. The weight on this is about 70 pounds. It doesn't look that heavy, right? Because it's so sleek. It's pretty heavy, and you can't like lift it from here. You have to lift it from here and here. So it's not easy to just run up the stairs or put it on your truck or something. The range is about 65 to 70 miles. It has a torque sensor, so it allows you to help out. It's very efficient with its motor and with the drivetrain as well. It allows the motor to operate in its most efficient range. Getting into the heart of the system, this one has a Bafang M600 motor. Bafang is one of the biggest manufacturers out there. Very good stuff, very durable, and it's cool to see. I haven't really tried it. This thing is so quiet, and it is 500 watts of output. The battery is 690 watt hours, so it's a 48 volt running at 14.4 amp hours. So 48 times 14.4, I think is 690. It only comes in step-through design, you know, optimized for commuters. It has a pretty good phone app support. It has ride logging, turn-by-turn directions, and whatnot. And this display that they have center-mounted is one of the best I've seen. Man, I had a blast with this. You know, took it on road, read the steepest hills that we got, and off-road and whatnot. And then come back to me and I'll give you the pros and cons of this bike. First thing I noticed in the test ride is it's pretty smooth. That suspension seat post really works for my 160-pound weight. front fork works as well. And now I attack the hills. This is a very steep hill, almost impossible to pedal if you don't have assist. And I am on level 1. You can hear the motor work. That's about as loud as you can get it. And now I go to level 4 and I'm able to accelerate. And then I stop from a standing start on level 1, try to go up the hill. You hear the motor work, and it's really no problem. It's just not going that fast. But everyone can do it. And then here I go on third. I think I'm on level 5 now. So you can see it is still pretty smooth, quite capable. Goes through all the bumps, never loses traction. Really cool, and it really shows what's possible with this bike, all the adventures you can take it on. Alright, I'm gonna do a trail, like a real trail, a little downhill here. Switch camera modes, but what you're gonna hear is the sound detected by my chest mounted GoPro, so it's very realistic to what you actually hear. In fact, it's pretty sensitive. It's right there. Very natural feeling, very seamless. So you can see I'm on level 4 going 5 miles an hour. Love the visibility of the screen. Shifting is very good. Push, the bells right there. And the mode selector is good as well. So really cool. Pretty quiet. I do have some rubbing between my tire and the metal fender, so you will hear a little bit of that noise, but I have that sorted now. Nice. Just imagine yourself in these kinds of adventures. This is just a trail near my house, and I can ride here. I rode here from my house. Look at the drone. The drone is going to navigate through the trees. This is a DJI Mini 3 Pro that is on follow me mode. Here are those hikers. They helped me film a little bit. Thank you to them. And very cool. You can go as fast as you want.
Okay, pros and cons. The number one is that it comes in 3 different configurations: 1300, 1900, and 2500. They all look the same. They all ride fairly similar, and but you have your options depending on what's important to you. And at the end of the video, I'm going to differentiate them for you. And this one is the top of the line. You know, you rarely see commuter bikes with these mid-drive motors, so that's why it's expensive. The next pro is the construction of the bike, the shipping, the packing quality. It is quite impressive. Very well protected, this thing, and you could tell, like, premium materials, nice saddle, the grips, ergonomic grips, has an adjustable stem right here. The lighting is good, taillight is good, the front is small, pretty basic, and then the displays and the controls are top notch. You know, this display is some of the best. You could tilt the angle, so super cool. The micro shift is really good. It's a push kind of thing, and that actually is probably the best for commuting. It has these Tektro brakes, hydraulic disc brakes that are so strong, and then the grips as well, saddle, touch points. So they've really put a lot of thought into this. The best pro is probably the most important of all is the ride quality. The ride is smooth. It is so smooth and so quiet, and that's kind of what's going to surprise you once you get on it. They're like, "Is the motor on?" You're like, and then you handle the steepest hill. You know, on the mid drive, you can take anything. You can start in the middle of the hill. You can be at level 1. You can climb anything. It's just a matter of how fast you want to go. Let's get to the cons. No bike is perfect for everybody. And this thing, as good as it is not for everyone. So one of the cons is it is a heavy bike, 70 pounds for this. The second con is it's a step-through design only. Nothing wrong with that. but that might not be your personal choice. You might think, you might equate this with a lady's bike. Also, you can't like grab it from here. And when I'm riding, sometimes I handle the bike by straddling it with my thigh. So you can't do that. It's more really kind of a Dutch urban style bike. So, oh, and because of that step-through design is why it's so heavy. You know, imagine there's strength in triangles and there's no triangle here except for the rear. And so they've had to beef this up so much for it to be sturdy and rigid. Another con is it's only class 2, meaning it tops out at 20 miles an hour. Just when the fun is going, just when you're able to really flow with traffic and whatnot, it's like, oh, that's it. It hits 20 so fast, and I didn't see a way that you could get it to a class 3 level. So this would have been so nice at 28 miles an hour. So another con is on this Ultra model, the expensive model, there's no throttle. It's the nature of the beast, but it's something that you should know if you are getting into this model. Comparing the three bikes, we have the Ultra at 2500, Pro 1900, and the Standard at 1300. And here are the specs. One of the key differences is the Standard only comes in small, as you can see on the size. The weight is about the same, about 70 pounds for each one. The motor on the Standard and Pro are hub motors, 500 watts, and obviously mid-drive motor on the Ultra. Speed sensor on the Standard, and then here's something cool. The Pro and the Ultra both have torque sensor, so a more natural feel. The range is a little bit better on the Ultra and the Pro because they have a torque sensor. And then on the modes, here's something big, is the Standard and Pro have a throttle. The Ultra does not have a throttle because it is mid-drive. Very hard to do mid-drive well with a throttle. And the speeds, shifting 9-speed on the Ultra. The brakes, Ultra gets the best one with the Tektro. The Standard gets mechanical brakes. And finally, the seat post on the Standard is not a suspension seat post. So that's the biggest difference between the three. So there you go. The bottom line is I think it's a great option. You know, I'm not sure I would spend $2,500 on this. I think it's more if you ride it a lot, like ride it every other day. So many people are going to be in a $1,300 budget. So I hope you liked my table on that. And but the bottom line, it's a great riding bike. You know, it's easy to get in and out of, even when you have cargo here. Look at that. Look at those pedals. How low to the ground it is. How nice it handles, and it's so quiet. You know, it's so seamless and quiet. Everything is really kind of well sorted on this version of Vanpowers. All right, thanks a ton, everybody.